Let's start by creating the sidebar. We need to install React icons to display icons alongside the titles. This ensures that if the sidebar is collapsed, the icons will still be visible, preventing it from looking empty and unattractive.
Here, I have written the code for Sidebar.js. Let's go through it. First, we have imported everything we need. React is the core library, as always. We're using icons from React icons, like Fay building for a company logo or Fatocometer alt for a dashboard. These make the sidebar more visually appealing and user-friendly. Navlink from React Router DOM is key for navigation, letting us highlight the active page. And finally, there's a CSS file, sidebar.css, to handle the styling. Let's see. What is the sidebar component doing? The component accepts a prop called isOpen, which controls whether the sidebar is expanded or collapsed. Think of it as a toggle. Here's the structure. This part dynamically adds either the open or closed class depending on the value of isOpen. If isOpen is true, the sidebar is fully expanded and shows both icons and text. If it's false, only the icons are displayed to save space. Here, we've got a company icon, Fay building, that's always visible, even when the sidebar is collapsed. If isOpen is true, we also display the text, company name. This keeps things clean and professional looking in both states. Now, the real heart of the sidebar, the menu items. Here's an example. This creates a link to the dashboard page, to /admin panel/dashboard. This defines where the link goes. Active class name equals active. This highlights the current page, so users know where they are. We do the same for users and settings. Let's dive into this sidebar.css code. This CSS is what gives your sidebar its polished look and dynamic behavior. It handles the styles for both expanded and collapsed states, as well as hover and responsive effects. This sidebar container styles the main sidebar container. It has a gradient background for a professional look, a fixed width of 250 pixels for the expanded state. Height covers the entire viewport, positioned on the left, with a smooth transition when resizing, e.g., collapsing. A slight box shadow adds depth. When the sidebar is collapsed, the width shrinks to just 80 pixels, leaving only the icons visible. The company icon is kept at a moderate size, with a bit of spacing for balance. In the company name, the font style is clean and modern, with light purple text for contrast. When collapsed, only the icon remains visible and the text fades out. This applies the style only when the sidebar is collapsed and company icon. Hover. The rule activates when the user hovers over the company icon. We have applied width and margin top to sidebar content. Sidebar item holds all the navigation items. Each sidebar item is styled as a flexbox row with padding and rounded edges. A subtle background highlight and slight movement make it interactive. When sidebar is closed, the text completely disappears, leaving just the icons visible. This code makes icons consistent in size and spacing, with smooth transitions for hover effects. Here, spacing is adjusted when the sidebar is collapsed. Because of this code, the active item gets a purple highlight with bold text, making it stand out. And a light box shadow gives a depth effect to emphasize the current page. This is a responsive design for smaller screens, like mobile devices. The sidebar defaults to the collapsed state. And the company name and item text are hidden, leaving just the icons. Let's walk through the Navbar.js code. Here we are, importing React as always, and user state hook from React. The useState hook is used to manage whether the drop-down menu is open or closed. We also import some icons from React icons /FA for the various parts of the Navbar, like the sidebar toggle, bell for notifications, envelope for messages, user profile, and the logout button. Lastly, we use useNavigate from React Router DOM for redirecting the user to the login page when they log out. Here, in the Navbar function, toggle sidebar is passed from the parent component to toggle the sidebar's open-close state. This creates a piece of state called isDropdownOpen, which keeps track of whether the drop-down menu is open or closed. We use setDropdownOpen to change its state. This is a hook from React Router DOM that gives us access to the navigation functionality. In this case, it is used in the handle logout function to redirect the user to the login page. So when the user clicks logout, navigate/login page ensures they are redirected to the login page after logging out. This is a function that toggles the state of is dropdown open between true and false. Set dropdown open to not is dropdown open is the key part. The exclamation mark negates the current state, which means if is dropdown open is false, is dropdown open becomes true, and the dropdown menu will open, and conversely, if it's true, it becomes false, closing the dropdown. This button toggles the sidebar when clicked using the toggle sidebar function. Displays a hamburger icon, farbars, for a familiar UI pattern. In this Navbar icons class, present in div tag, static icons, FA bell and FA envelope, represent notifications and messages. These can later be extended to include dynamic counts or links to respective pages. In this profile dropdown, which is a class inside the div tag, we have added the FA-user circle icon to represent the user's profile picture. Following this, there is a button with a down chevron icon, FA chevron down, that toggles the visibility of the drop-down menu. When clicked, it runs the toggle drop-down function, which flips the state of is drop-down open. This part is conditionally rendered. It only shows the drop-down menu if is drop-down open is true. Inside the drop-down, there's a logout button, FA sign out alt, that, when clicked, triggers the handle logout function, which redirects the user to the login page using navigate/login page. I hope you guys have subscribed to InfoStudio to get updates of this admin panel series. Let's go through the Navbar.css code. This is the Navbar container. This Navbar class is the backbone of our navigation bar. It uses Flexbox to align items horizontally and space them apart with justify content space between. The background has a beautiful gradient effect, moving from dark purple to light purple. The navbar stays at the top with position sticky, ensuring it remains visible while scrolling. Subtle design touches like padding and a box shadow give it a polished, professional look. The navbar toggle is the button for toggling the sidebar. It's styled as a simple icon button with no background or border. On hover, it scales up slightly, making it more interactive and user-friendly. The navbar icons container holds all the icons, such as notifications or messages. Icons are spaced evenly with gap, 20 pixels, and styled to be clickable with a hover effect. This navbar icon class is applied to each individual icon in the navbar. It sets font size, color, cursor, and transition. On hover, icons change to a light purple color and grow slightly using transform scale 1.1, giving a nice interactive feedback. The profile dropdown class is used for the user's profile and dropdown menu. It uses position relative to anchor the dropdown menu just below the profile icon. The profile toggle button with the chevron icon toggles the dropdown visibility. The dropdown menu is where all the options like logout live. The menu pops up below the profile icon using position absolute. It has a light gradient background, rounded corners, and a shadow to make it visually appealing. The menu is compact with minimum width, 150 pixels, but adjusts on smaller screens for responsiveness. Each menu item is styled with the drop-down item class. It has a soft hover effect, where the background turns purple and the text color changes to white. Items scale slightly when hover transform. Scale 1.05, adding depth and interactivity. For example, the logout button includes a logout icon styled with the .logout icon class. Finally, the media query ensures the Navbar adapts to smaller screens. The padding and icon sizes are reduced for a cleaner look on devices with less space. The drop-down menu also becomes more compact with a smaller minimum width. To display the Navbar and Sidebar on the dashboard page, I've made some changes to the app.js file. Let's take a look at them. Here we have added the useState hook for managing the state of the sidebar. After this outlet component is imported, which is used to render nested routes inside the admin panel layout component. These are new pages, Sidebar and Navbar are included for the admin panel layout. Here, this admin panel layout component is created to act as the wrapper for our admin panel. Sidebar takes the isSidebar prop to conditionally display the sidebar. Navbar takes the toggle sidebar function as a prop to handle the toggle action for opening/closing the sidebar. The outlet component renders any child routes, like /dashboard, inside the admin panel layout. Now, in this app component, we are managing the state of whether the sidebar is open or closed using useState. The toggle sidebar function is created to toggle the sidebar state. And after this, in this return statement of the component, the /admin panel/star root now renders the admin panel layout with the state and toggle function passed as props. Inside this layout, the nested root dashboard is rendered, which shows the dashboard component. Here, we have made some changes to the app.css file. Let's go through them. We have added the main content class to handle interactions with the sidebar. Flex. One ensures it takes up as much space as possible within the .app container. Transition. Margin left 0.3 seconds ease provides a smooth animation effect when the margin changes. Overflow X. Hidden prevents horizontal scrolling if the content is too wide. When the sidebar is collapsed, the margin left 80 pixels property adjusts the margin to match the smaller width of the sidebar, bringing the content closer to the left. Finally, the content class is responsible for styling and adding proper spacing within the main content area. Let's check out how our Navbar and Sidebar look along with the dashboard page. Don't forget to subscribe to Info Studio to get notifications for our next video. Here, we're logged in, and you can see our Navbar and Sidebar. Now, let's test the logout functionality. And yes, we are logged out. See you soon.